Hey guys, welcome back to another week of What's for Dinner. We have a whole nother week of meal ideas for you, and this week was a really good one. If you've been subscribed for a while, I'd just like to say thank you for coming back for another video. And if you're new here, welcome. I post What's for Dinner videos every single Sunday, so make sure you're subscribed and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on any future dinner ideas. For meal number one, we have a Chinese barbecue style beef and broccoli. We're using some bottom round steak made for stir fry. It's sliced super thin, and we're just gonna slice those strips in half to make them even smaller. Then we're just going to let it sit in the fridge for a while with some salt and pepper and this hoisin garlic marinade. We're also going to make these chicken egg rolls on the side. These are my favorite brand of egg rolls. I found these at Walmart. Now we're getting started cooking our rice. We always toast it in a little bit of butter before we add our water. We also have a pan with some butter melting to start cooking our veggies, and we're going to use some sliced carrots and frozen broccoli. And to both pans we added some minced garlic, some salt and pepper, a little bit of onion powder, and some soy sauce. Once we added the water to our rice, we also added in about a tablespoon of hoisin sauce. And now we're going to get started on our Asian style barbecue sauce. I'll leave these measurements down in the description box below for you. We used a tablespoon of duck sauce, a tablespoon of red pepper paste, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar, about a teaspoon of ground ginger, a dash of cayenne, and a drizzle of sesame oil. So we strained our meat to drain the marinade from it, and we just coated it in a little bit of cornstarch. And now we're going to add it to our super hot pan to brown. When our meat was almost done, we added in our sauce and let it thicken. We served this over our rice with our broccoli and carrots, and I had my egg roll on the side with some sweet and sour and soy sauce for dipping. This was so good, you guys. I highly recommend trying this one out. This was like having takeout at home. Next up, we have a creamy ham and potato chowder. This was a super simple meal to make. We just have some H-E-B brand Velveeta cheese, some cubed ham, some russet potatoes, evaporated milk, and a 32-ounce box of chicken broth, and we also had some carrots. So we chopped up our potatoes and carrots and put them in our pot, seasoned them with some salt and pepper. Then we added in some onion powder, garlic powder, and parsley. Next came our whole box of chicken broth and a little bit of Tony's seasoning. Then we just covered this and simmered it until our veggies were cooked through. In a separate pot, we have some butter and flour cooking as a roux, and then we're going to add our can of evaporated milk. Then we're going to add some salt and pepper and stir this over medium heat until it thickens. We took about 1/3 of our potatoes and carrots and blended them until they were smooth, which Angus does not approve of. Then we just added that back to our pot, as well as our cream sauce and our diced ham. This was absolutely delicious. With just a few ingredients, we had a yummy filling soup that was still amazing, even though it's still 100 degrees outside. Next up, we have buffalo chicken tacos. I originally saw these made by Amanda from Mom's Messy Kitchen, and I'll link her channel down below. When I saw her video, I knew I had to try these. And we're making our homemade buffalo sauce. We're using some Frank's Red Hot, some Worcestershire, apple cider vinegar, and some onion powder, garlic powder, seasoned salt, and salt and pepper. Now we're just adding in some cream cheese and a few tablespoons of butter. So we just boiled up a chicken breast and gave it a good shred, and we're gonna add this to our sauce. And we're using these nacho cheese flavored stand and stuff shells. We lined up our shells in our baking dish so they wouldn't fall over, and we added in our cooked chicken, and a whole bunch of shredded Mexican blend cheese. Then we baked these at 350 degrees until they were all melty and delicious. Once they came out of the oven, we topped them off with that shredded celery, some chopped red onion, some shredded lettuce, even more shredded cheese, and some homemade ranch dressing. These were the best tacos I've had in a very long time, so thank you, Amanda, for this idea. They were so different and so delicious. We served ours with some refried beans and cilantro lime rice. For the next meal, we have a steak and shrimp surf and turf. We started this meal out by making some potato pancakes. We just mashed up some potatoes in our bowl, and we're going to add in some salt and pepper and parsley. Then we're going to add in a few tablespoons of flour, adding more as needed until it forms a sort of potato dough. Then we just cooked these in some melted butter on our griddle pan until they were golden brown, and melted some mozzarella cheese on top. We just cooked our steaks in some butter and salt and pepper. And then we cooked our shrimp in the remaining juices while the steak rested. Then we served our steak and shrimp with some corn and our potato pancakes. This was such a good meal, you guys. I don't get to eat shrimp as often as I'd like because I'm the only one in the house that'll eat them, but this was definitely one of my favorite meals of the week. So recently I posted a video of our copycat Taco Bell Cheesy Gordita Crunch. I had a few people tell me that the video wasn't working for them, so I did a poll on my community tab, and about 40% of the votes said that they weren't able to watch the video. I have no idea why. It must have been some kind of glitch or something because some people were able to watch it just fine. But anyway, I'm going to share this recipe with you guys again, so if you've already seen it, you can either stick around and watch it again because they really are that good, or I'll tell you bye for now, and we'll see you next time. So here's the recipe for the Cheesy Gordita Crunch. So we're going to start out with our flatbread. This is super simple, and I'll put the ingredients in the description box down below. In a large bowl, we're mixing together our dry ingredients, and these are 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 2/3 of a teaspoon of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And then over in our measuring cup, we have 4 tablespoons of melted butter, and to that we're going to add 6 tablespoons plus 2 teaspoons of milk and 1/2 cup of sour cream. So now you're going to slowly incorporate the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients and mix until a soft dough forms. Once it's all pretty well mixed together, you're going to knead it in the bowl for just a few minutes until it comes together better. Then cover it with plastic wrap and let it sit at room temperature for 30 minutes. This recipe will make about 8 flatbreads. We also made a sort of Baja sauce to make this more authentic, and here are the ingredients. 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, a 1/4 teaspoon each of black pepper, cumin, cayenne, and onion powder, and 1 cup of mayonnaise. So we've browned up 1 pound of ground beef with a packet of taco seasoning, and our dough has been resting for 30 minutes. We separated our dough into 8 equal sections and rolled each one out on a floured surface until it was about 8 inches wide. You're going to cook these over medium heat, and you don't need any oil or butter in the pan. And they're going to get all bubbly and delicious. So you're just going to brown them on both sides, and when you take them off the heat, brush one side with melted butter. Now it's time to assemble our cheesy gordita crunch. So we layered a good amount of shredded cheese on our flatbread and microwaved it for a few seconds just until it was melted. This is what's going to adhere your flatbread to your crunchy taco shell. We then started filling it up, first with our taco meat, then a good amount of that Baja sauce we made, some shredded lettuce, and even more shredded cheese. And there you have it, guys. Here's our version of a copycat Taco Bell cheesy gordita crunch. These were so simple to make and so delicious, you guys. If you love Taco Bell, thank you guys I so would much highly for recommend watching. I hope you enjoyed
try.
this week's video. If you did, please remember to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe down below and hit your notification bell. We make What's for Dinner videos every Sunday.